Hey, welcome. I'm Natha. We are looking at the astrology for the month of May of 2023. And take a deep breath because you made it so far, and it has not been easy. You have made it through the first of the eclipses, took place on April 20th in a square to Pluto. Now, I'm going to walk you through some of what the astrology of this month is going to hold, but just know that you are being asked to go really deep at this point in your life, probably deeper than you have ever been. And that's part of how I teach astrology is it's not just astrology and archetypes. It's a deepening into knowing yourself, being able to see these cycles and these patterns and how they show up and where you have come from and where you're headed. So be listening with curiosity for yourself, for your own life, for how all of this lands and for what it means. Know that your higher self is going to bring you the knowledge and the aha moments that you need. It's not so much about your brain trying to make the connections and trying to remember every single thing. You just pay attention to what really stands out. You're going to hear little nuggets. Those are going to be the things that I say that are meant for you. And if you enjoy this forecast and you want more of this, I have a Hidden Wisdom Astrology Circle. Every Monday, I give a Astro Atlas, which is essentially like this, but it's much more in depth about how these archetypes, how these cycles may be showing up for you and impacting you. So you can check that out on my website at electroastrology.com. On May 2nd, Pluto stations to go retrograde. Pluto changed signs earlier in April into the sign of Aquarius. So this is new energy that we're all trying to contend with after Pluto had been in Capricorn for 15 years. So Pluto is now going to go backward. It will go back into Capricorn. So you'll be kind of revisiting some of those stories. And those are the stories that relate to things that are Capricorn in nature. So your internal government, the rules, the regulations that you operate on, the structures that either exist or need to exist in your life. And Pluto is the planet that shows us our shadow, but also brings us into a deeper awareness. So Plutonian work is always really big work. And the eclipse that we had on the 20th was in a square to Pluto. It's not that this work is new by any means, but do be looking for the stories and the scenarios that keep bubbling up in your life, wanting your attention because they have some value for you. On May 5th, we have a full moon in Scorpio. This is a lunar eclipse. It's the second eclipse that is a part of this eclipse season. Moon in Scorpio. Pluto rules Scorpio. These lunations, these eclipses, of course, are eclipses because they're so close to the nodes, and the south node is in Scorpio. North node is in Taurus. So again, there is something here to be learned and examined and explored around conflict, maybe internal conflict or conflict that you've had with other people that has not been resolved. And it might even revolve around some storylines that you have told yourself about what things mean. Pluto, Scorpio dynamic tend to bring up fear for us, but a lot of times that fear is existing mostly in our head. It's not always real, but it is certainly fear based on things that have happened to us, and our brains trying to protect us want us to be hypervigilant so that we are not endangered. So it will generate a lot of extra fear. So be on the lookout for that extra fear. And the remedy, especially post eclipse, is going to be to move into that Taurus energy. And the Taurus energy reminds you that you can handle anything, that you can put in your time, your effort, your energy to the things that really matter, to the things that are valuable. And that is where you should put your attention. On May 15th, Mercury, which has been retrograde in the sign of Taurus, stations to go direct. We've had so much Taurus energy. Mercury in retrograde is the kind of energy that asks us to slow down and really examine what's important, what are you putting your focus on, what do your connections feel like, and what needs more time and energy in your life. When we're looking at Taurus, we know that slow, sustained effort is what generates the wealth. So if there are relationships in your life that need more of your time and attention, you want to make sure that they are worth it. Taurus loves luxury and loves things that are valuable and worthy. You don't want to be putting your time and attention on dynamics and certainly on relationships that don't have any ground, that generate fear, that bring up your shadow or mirror your wounding. And Mercury in retrograde has shown you some of those. So as Mercury stations to go direct, now you can put into action what you have learned. On May 17th, Jupiter enters Taurus. Jupiter will also be making a square to Pluto at this time. Anything that Jupiter touches, it makes it bigger. Sometimes that's good, and sometimes that's not so good. Essentially, what you're looking for with Jupiter is your point of expansion. What is going to bring you into a higher place? What is going to blow your mind? What is going to be meaningful for you? And if you are looking around your life and thinking that things look like they're in shambles or in ruins or they're incredibly stressful, that is your key that Jupiter is blowing this up for you so that you can see it. Jupiter always reminds you to change your perspective. When you change your perspective, of course, everything changes. So don't forget that this month, especially. And finally, on May 19th, we have a new moon in the sign of Taurus. New moons are a time when you begin to plant the seeds and you begin to make plans for what is next. So after this entire period of eclipse season, when so much has been stirred, so many things have come to the surface, now it's time to just settle in, decide how you want to proceed. In my Hidden Wisdom membership circle, we meet twice a month, once on the full moon and once on the new moon, to talk things like this through. And we listen to stories, and we talk about the energies of these lunations, etc. So if you feel like you want extra support, or if that sounds interesting, check out the Hidden Wisdom Astrology Circle. And I will be back with another one of these forecasts for the month of June. Have a good one.